Well, that's just how you were brought up, I say.
Right, okay. We're live, or so YouTube tells me, and that means it's time for me to read out the following diatribe. You are listening to Let's Go JoJo, the weekly JoJo's Bizarre Adventure podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Really?
And it's me, Brian. Wondering if he can get even higher than that. Probably not. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of November the 13th to November the 19th, with a couple of exceptions. Beginning with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 6, Stone Ocean, Episode 23, Jailhouse Lock, in which Jolene is trapped in the movie Memento.
Yes. Those are probably a very, if you look at another way, kind of a poignant display of what I much like to live with probably an elderly relative with any kind of dementia or what have you.
Turn into horror movies in or horror adjacent thrillers, I guess, in Memento and what was that one? Irreversible? Was that the one that was backwards?
Ooh, I know one thing about that. One thing everybody knows.
Yeah. The one where you watch a scene and then it shows you the scene immediately before that, or for the entire film. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple like that. Memento, of course, being one of them. Perhaps like the Time Machine Blues in other cases.
Yes.
We'll get to that in just a while, though. But yeah.
Yeah, so Poochie, he's got a new look. He's grown 3 ponytails out of the back of his neck.
Overnight.
Yeah.
Father, you've grown your hair out, and also you have like your eyebrows have grown across your nose a little. That's fine.
It's like the really kind of like, it's just like, hypertrichosis, but just on it's just like, coming off the eyelashes, and then like, no, this is happening.
And like, it's been a long time since you've been to the mainland. Have fun. And he's like, aha, I'm never coming back. I'm just going to wait for the appropriate time, and heaven will arrive.
We did get an explanation of those random words he was saying were the activation codes for the baby stands, basically.
Yeah. Which are like the fragments of the world, or I'm just going to explode my stand on purpose, because that's going to be the backup plan. I'm going to turn into a green baby, and it's going to know what these words mean.
I did like Dio's like, I'm a very basic man. I only need a couple of things. I need my all-powerful stand, Zawaldo. I need a best friend who will like submit to not even like fucking no laws of man or beast. It's just like the laws of God. It will the only thing he'd run by. He'll be my best friend. Also, I'm going to need, 18 words to program my stand
14
with.
Words, yeah.
14 words to program my stand with. Also, I'm going to need the souls of a bunch of like the worst criminals we can find. I need very little in life. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also gained a Joestar birthmark as well.
Well, I guess he already had one because he stole the body of the guy who had one. This is his one. This is a new birth, so it's his.
It's that whole complicated thing. It was like, when he had like his head on the body, he had 2 stands because he had the world, and he had like, he's able to do at least the spirit photography or Herma Purple. So
something like Herma Purple, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe something got intermelded, all the bits that flew off, like it's all a contaminated sample, so that baby is just a melding of it. Yeah, and just gotta get in there too. Yes, the villain would again have some power or stand that manipulates the laws of time and space. So it's going to literally see that in there from the beginning.
Emporio manages to visit Jolene, who's so bored she's given herself a belly button piercing, and he's panicking where Jolene's like, I've had my dad's memories inside my head now, so I understand the entire plot of the previous parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I need to get out of here right now and kick Poochie's ass, because if he's gained the powers of Dio, we're in deep trouble.
Like, you got my dad's CD, that's fine. We don't need to fucking rush and do that. The main thing is to stop this Dio motherfucker. I know what a bad dude he is. Yeah.
He might be going like off in a rocket to space, because the coordinates are given there for Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Did you pump him into a thing?
He's literally like wait till the night into the day of the night of the new moon. He's going to the moon. Yeah, let's do it. Gotta get them. Space vampires. Scary.
But Emporio's like, oh no, this is a terrible place. It's like the building itself won't let you out. It knows if you try and escape. Also, 2 of your friends are in hospital, and the other one is locked himself inside his cell, won't even talk to me.
Sulkin.
Um,
Someone made fun of his head.
But Jolene's having none of this. She's like, we got to go. I'm breaking out. And then another prisoner, Miu Miu, shows up with her stand, just wandering alongside her. And she's like, Jolene, if you know what's good for you, stay in prison. And we're not going to stop you from getting that dispatch Chitaro now. Just don't interfere with
you can save your dad. That doesn't matter to the plans, so work away.
Leave the baby out of this.
I was thinking the same as Jolene. It's like, you got some brass balls, lady. Just walking up here, showing me your face with your stand. It's just like, okay.
A couple of gunslingers, You're saying pick it up for the 2 of us.
And Jolene throws a punch through the bars, but she's still like, okay, I'm gonna give you one more shot. Like, you can for free. We don't have to do this. I don't have to activate my stand. Jolene's like, nah, I'm breaking out. And then she's in her regular cell.
Yes, and we discover that the stand has apparently altered her memory, so she can remember her past, but she can only hold on to 3 new facts that she can learn at a time. And she's got loads of writing all over her body, like in Memento. She's also got a list of notes, and she has like a back and forth with Gwess, where it's like keeps on learning things, but then as the 4th one comes along, it pushes out the first thing that she learned.
Because I mean, like, the notes are somewhat sensible. It's like, okay, 1, you can only remember 3 things. 2, what was the second one?
Defeat the stand user.
Defeat the stand user, Miu Miu, and it's just like that. This is her fault. 3,
go to Emporio.
Go to Emporio, and it's just
important.
Like that's very good. But the problem is, which 3 things do you hold on to? And as soon as like, what does Miu Miu look like? Well, she's got scraggy hair and she wears tights and she's about your height. That's 3 things. I can only remember 3 things. Wait, I've forgotten that I can only remember 3 things.
Focus on the hair and the tights, and they ignore that bit in the middle where she seems to have like slaughtered a muppet and is wearing its pelt.
That's just a standard jumper that you wear in prison.
Yeah, a big muppet too. It's all for the Seki.
And then a lot of the remaining episode is just Miu Miu fucking with Jolene in this position that she's in. It's like, whenever she's about to figure things out, then she'll do something which forces Jolene to learn a 4th thing and pushes out the other memories.
Or just to be a dick, like stepping on a cockroach and putting it in her food, and then saying 3 other things about food, and here you go, eat your food. And it's like, oh, thank you.
Exceptionally cruel.
Yeah. Until eventually Jolene realizes the trick is to not try and fill your memory with 3 things. Only remember 2 things.
Keep 2 things, and 1 thing is a changeable one. Yeah.
Yes. And she does this by just going, I need to remember, and then stone free laces Go See Emporio into her arm. And that's
so she has number 1, you can only remember 3 things. Number 2, go see Emporio. Number 3, we'll change that on the fly. That's fine.
Which is desperately needed because Emporio has also been affected by this stand and is about to electrocute himself.
I wasn't clear if Miu Miu did that on purpose, or was it because Emporio was trying to escape through the walls as he does, which automatically activates her stand. I wasn't sure if she was aware, because she seemed confused by the whole Emporio situation.
She'll tap that one on as a freebie.
Yeah. Emporio has accidentally spilled some boiling water from his kettle, and it is gotten into the electrics. So he keeps repeatedly wandering into the electrical water because he keeps forgetting it's electrified.
Yes.
It seems very dumb, but it's an exceptionally cruel thing to do to a small muscular child. It's really fucked up. Yeah.
He got far enough to bring up like her file on the computer.
Yeah.
So remember how to use a computer, like remember his password and everything. He got that far. God bless him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird bit of coincidence that 2 things involving spilling water onto electronics that we watched this week.
Did you know most accidents happen in the home? Well, we had a solution for you, dear listeners / viewers.
I like this one. I really like the basic simplicity of the problem, but it's like, how do you get past that fucking problem? It's complicated in execution, I guess. Yeah.
It's I think I can just kind of was the way to kind of put it in. I quite like the kind of the dissolving effect, how it dissolves then melt into the different dissolve and dissolve and it's just kind of weird and unsettling, and it kind of gave it that weird unsettling thing, which really put across the cruelty of what she's going to do, and it's just fun standing around gloating, which is great because it means when she gets or right in the fucking face too. I really like it.
And it gets to reuse a bunch of footage by putting that kind of blurry filter over it, but in a way that looks like it's the memory but dissolving. Because you, the viewer, have watched this before, but Jolene can't see it or remember it. I thought it was well handled. Yeah.
It'll be a little bit funnier next week when she goes into like the rec room with the person and you start spoiling on any of all the movies they're watching.
Also, Hermes wakes up this episode.
I like the bit with Hermes because Hermes gets informed by Emporio before his accident, repeated accident, that fucking FF got after they found out what we needed to know. And I like the teardrop from the glass and pouring one out for your homie.
There's just light up in the bed, just like just hearing all this, as the stone face. It's just like,
yeah.
I'm used to revenge. This is my bread and butter. I know this is what I needed. Actually, I need to get me up out of this bed, something to get revenge on.
I'm not even bothered that she's been out of the story for so long, because when I think about it, she did slap her own skull into her skull. So I mean, like that's gonna put you in bed for a bit. Yeah.
A great surgeon in that prison, I must say.
Good episodes. It did fit again because of the recap at the start. It felt like, oh, was this supposed to be like the start of another batch? But
that's after this.
Yes, but that
it feels like the break should have taken place at the end of the last one, starting on this one. Yeah,
but that'll be after this one, which may also work because I assume they're going to break out of prison in the next episode. Otherwise, there's not going to be much of a story if they're still in prison and Pooch is wandering around doing his machinations.
Just walking there as well. It's just going. I'm just gonna keep walking. I don't know. I need to have a time. Maybe a week or two before the new moon. I can probably get it there.
Yes. I assume unlike Witch Watch that Araki timed everything out correctly in his storyline. As opposed to Witch Watch, where they apologise for writing too many silly stories. And then also you may have to wait a very long time for November to come because there may just be more silly stories. So pretend it's still October.
It's Witch Watch. It's the season of the witch at all times. It's fine.
It's just the magic. The true magic is narrative fiction.
Yes. There we got Tatami Time Machine Blues on Hulu if you're in America, on Disney Plus if you're here in the UK, or I think anywhere else in the world. So, no episode title, but we return to what's the coloured college life that he's after in Tatami Galaxy? Rose-coloured college life.
Sounds right.
It's always kind of funny. It's just saying kind of set up at the second point. It's this sad sack again. He wants to do this ideal college life, but a fucking like neurotic sad sack to kind of do it. All these people are bringing him down. He's trying to like get the attention of like usually a raven-haired beauty. He's got like a strange sensibility, and he's just about to achieve this when suddenly, oops, a supernatural occurrence foils his romantic ends. And
yes, so I feel like it's supposed to be one of the alternate realities from like one we didn't see out of the Tatami Galaxy, just because of the clock face setup we get. That was always like the symbol of, we're getting into a different reality this time.
Yeah. And even then within that, it allows up for other alternate realities because we're going to start affecting the flow of time now.
So yes, the position is or the protagonist, or the narrator, Al, is once again in room 209 of the rundown apartment building. And the problem they've got is that they've been filming a B movie as part of the film club in his room, and when they finished filming, they were all meeting back up. When he got back, his good quote unquote friend Ozu, classmate, small
nemesis
monster,
Frenemy.
yes, was like, "Hey, you got to do that naked dance you said you were going to do." He's like, "What naked dance? You know, this naked dance," and like mimes it, and kicks over a bottle of Coke onto the only operating machinery for the only air conditioner in the building, which is in his room.
At the height of summer,
yes,
this time of year.
Yes.
And the worst part of that guy is his friend, quote unquote, is the guy's just like, well, it's a series of events. Number one, you invited us back. Number two, you said you do the dance. Someone else put the bottle of Coke down, and he's blaming the guy for doing the dance, and that's why I was miming the dance you were going to do. It's just like, so it's your fault, really.
Oh, and
the
final people to blame are the manufacturers of the air conditioning unit for not having a control on the air conditioner itself.
Yeah, not having an on-off switch on the thing. Yeah, that's bad when products do have that. Yeah.
And then the rest of the episode is like looking back on the filming, how they basically introducing the characters by having like a flashback to the previous day, and also then when they went to the baths after they'd finished filming. But that we've already got the initial thing of like something's up in our main character.
Everyone said you were going to do you said to all of us you were going to do the naked dance, and he's like, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. And then they go over the rushes from the shoot, and it's like, hey mate, we got Ozu in the foreground, we got Ozu also appearing here in the background, not in costume or makeup.
Yeah,
that is him, right? Yeah.
Ooh. Does he have a twin brother or like a cousin look-alike or something?
And before they could discuss it any further, a guy who's shabby from top to bottom, but in an adorable manner, shows up, and
I love that he's so shabby you can't help but love him.
Yeah,
he's like the Bill Notefieb effect.
The thing about the protagonist is he's really awkward and he can't talk to the girl he likes and all that kind of things. But the constant, because he's a writer in this, the constant writing he's doing in his head describing everyone is very, very funny. I do enjoy that. It makes it very dry in a good way.
And this guy who we've never met, and he's not in the original series, is like, oh, the landlady sounds younger than she's used to, and is surprised that Mr. Higuchi, the student who never graduates, is here. And you're like, okay, why is he surprised? So we've got the clue that this is probably a time traveler, and when they finally discover a time machine in the cupboard, he's probably the owner of it. And the other characters you meet are, we've got Hanaki, who is the dental hygienist, who is the on and off girlfriend of Eva Higuchi or Jogasaki, depending on which universe it is. I think in one universe she's the girlfriend of the protagonist.
And also with time travel now, who knows who she's the girlfriend of at any given time?
And she's already used it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because
they all talk about like, oh, you were there for the filming and you helped. The thing is like, well, that's what I would have said if I was there. And they're like, if you were there, you were there yesterday. Yes. Well, we all saw you. I was
going to say she hasn't already used it. We just know that she will use it in a later episode.
It's fun because I'm kind of thinking it's just like, I bet you those scenes they're walking around the book mart. The characters are definitely in the book mart at several points and that kind of thing.
Yes. The book market shows up in The Night Short Walk On Girl, isn't it? I can't remember if it shows up in the original series.
I think it does. I watched again like a couple of Tatami guys here to get into kind of speed of it. Actually, it didn't go fucking like Top Gear. Just a while ago. That one was particularly fast. I mean, the first one kind of gets into it slow, but one didn't do the same thing here. I suppose maybe Dave. Anyways, I think it was in that too. Anyway, just to go about it, putting all these books around here, so you can kind of like do a lot of these same locations again. Some of them were just like using like actual photo reference, like just pasting into the background, which is I think a charming effect actually.
And Jogasaki, who is the head of the movie club at the university, and he's a jerk. And then if you watch the Tatami Galaxy, you'll find out he's got a weird fetish. But that may not come up at all in this series.
Typical jock overcompensating.
And I can't remember if the other guy was in the rat tooth guy was in the first series or not. I think he
I didn't remember him at all.
I feel like he might have been one of the security force in the first series. Yeah, I can't remember. You see this, but I really enjoyed this first episode, but also it made me want to go and rewatch the original series as well. At the same time. Yeah, so we end up with Ozu they're like jokingly going, "Oh, look at this time machine. It looks like the Doraemon time machine," is essentially what it is.
Yeah, Fisher Price looking yoke.
Yeah, it's a flat piece of mat with a plastic chair stuck on it, like with the legs taken off, and it's got a little dial in it, plus minus, obviously forward, back in the future, and a big lever, so you can set the time and just pull the lever and you travel through time. And it's like, all right, I'll give it a go, woo, and then he disappears. It's like, where the fuck is he gone?
And Joe like, he's playing a trick on me. Yes, because when he comes back, they don't believe him until they show them the video of him there in the window the previous day.
And they found the footage earlier, so it's kind of like, no, he didn't manufacture this. Like, we already had this. So,
but yes, they haven't got yet by the end of the episode to the premise yet, which is taken from the play and film Summertime Machine Blues by the screenwriter of this, which obviously is, what if we use this time machine to stop the air conditioner from being broken? That's the plot of the entire movie and play.
I mean, like, if you've been through a hot summer, I feel like that's a very important thing to fix.
Yes, and it's just it's a very funny premise for using a time machine.
It's the great thing about when superpowers introduces it, kind of one. How can we use these not to save the world or take over the world? It's for incredibly petty ends, incredibly like low stakes, but they're like the most important like thing to you right there.
It's quality of life improvement is what they're after.
That's why JoJo Part 4 was so good and it felt like so unique. Because it was just using fun. If all you stands, we got psychic powers. Just go rip off the fucking local lottery with this. Yeah.
There's a lot of good scenes in it. I think one of my favorite ones was when the guys are really badly sweating in the room and there's like the sweat stains on the mats and they have a slap fight, but like neither of them wants to really get hit as hard, so you can't hit the other guy too hard, so it's barely kind of touching each other. Very funny, like silly animation.
Super gross rigging their shirts out. It's just like the waterfall of sweat. Whoa.
Yeah.
It is we're going to have that set to place, but I guess it's important to use that same setting over and over again. Just like when they're out in that hallway and it's everyone saying, "Oh man, it's fun of sweltering there." I could almost like smell like the mouldering books and the kind of the hot floorboards. Like I always kind of a lot of the kind of the old houses over there kind of smell like that. It's like, oh, it's put me back there already. In the heart of winter, I feel balmy and sweaty.
And we should also mention that the film they were making also involves time travel.
It's time travel in a very mundane way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about, well, let's face it, it's about Mr. Higuchi. Is clearly what it's about. It's about a guy who travels back in time, and then in the Tokugawa shogunate, and whoever he comes into contact with, he makes them lazy and not want to do any work.
He emits some sort of aura of fecklessness around himself, so they just don't get anything done, and that's why they lost, and it collapses history on itself. Yeah.
Yes.
How are you going to film? How are you going to show that in a student film? I don't fucking know, but one seems very confident that we've got all the footage we need. We'll just get it in the edit.
Yeah, I really like that touch as well, because it's like the two guys who wrote the script are like, "Are you sure you get everything?" And she's like, "No,
I get it in post. It's fine."
Dear.
Yeah, man, I love this. I was and in fact, I'm having to stop myself from binging the rest of it.
Yeah, it's just more of it, but it's just its own little thing. It's why because it is just spaced out so well across the years. You haven't gotten tired to give them. Oh, I get this much more of this. That's fine. This is good. It's dense. Feels dense.
Yeah, because it's like Night Short Walk On Girls got Higuchi and Hanuki. I can't remember if any of the others show up in that. And they only show up briefly. I think Hanuki is supposed to be the dental nurse in Penguin Highway as well.
Yeah, they're a dentist lady.
Yeah. I don't think she gets a name in that. I think she's just the object of the kids' affections. But yeah, it's got So the monologuing is not quite as rapid as it is in that first episode of Tatami Galaxy.
Yeah, that was like people's worry about. Oh, when Disney want to get that, are they sure? But they said to slow it to roll a little bit.
Yeah, and I think the difference in the original is it takes its time introducing all the characters, whereas I think probably because it's having to do this trick of like you might not have ever watched these characters before, but we're gonna like set it like how many was it, like 6, 7 with the new character plus the dog. I think the dog's a new thing as well.
Oh yeah.
No, the dog tested well in performance reviews, so that was very. You gotta put a dog in there, helps to increase book sales.
I'd assume that thing about this Kappa cursed statue thing is going to be important that gets brought up.
But it's literally a sculpture of the jock guy, so
yes. Yeah. Which makes me think they're probably going to overshoot their targets at some point when they're travelling back in time. Yeah, it gives you like enough clues as to go what on earth are they going to end up doing in the remainder of this.
We're going to make sure that the Coca-Cola Corporation is never formed, so that there's no chance for Coca-Cola bottle laying on the table to be spilled at a reductor. Probably something that ridiculous and roundabout to
yeah. Maybe they went back far enough to win that old because they talk about when the air conditioner was installed, and it's like, oh, they were lucky to install it, that kind of thing. It's like, can we go back in time and make sure they install one with fucking buttons on it or something? Yeah.
Oh, they mentioned like, they're drinking like warm barley tea to try and cool down. It's that old thing. Oh, if you drink the warm tea, it'll cool you down for longer. For one say, man, can we not have these fun Edo period fucking like refreshment things? Well, that's the way they didn't it's better. We're fine for them. So when you go back in time and just try like alter refreshment like trends in that era, so then that when it comes to the modern day, you can still enjoy like a mango frappuccino.
I mean, like everything seems they seem to have already done all the time traveling that they're doing, and they're actually feeling the effects of it. But it feels like the end of their student B movie could be the end of it as well. They've managed to implode time on itself by making too many changes. Yeah.
Looking forward to returning to this for the remaining 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Pui Pui Molcar Driving School, Episode 6, Grasp the Victory, Munch Munch Great Sports Day.
Yum.
In which the Molcars have a sports day. Of which they have it's a tug of war where they just eat the rope.
And then whoever like tugs it at the end is like, no, mine is the winner.
Yeah, they roll some balls which just hit the head coach at the driving school. And then there's like a obstacle course relay race, which is I think the majority of the episode.
Yeah, we get some new cars in that one as well.
Yeah.
So wait, was the sushi nigiri one new? I feel like that's a new one.
That was there before, but I guess it's front and center. It's prominence. It's day to shine.
Yeah, the essential gag is that the obstacle course, the sports day in general is a sports day for humans, but you're making cars
who are giant hamsters,
who are giant guinea pigs.
Sorry. And to be worse, like it's bad enough to get a giant car to get inside a sack, but to do it when it has a giant sushi thing on its back as well, it's like that's just making it very difficult.
It's not a drag on that. I'm sure you want to have that.
Yeah, that's it. I think there's a giant shark in the next episode, which I guess maybe the mecha one they had, but they're just giving it a skin, maybe. Then we got Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun, episode 6 of season 3, Devlishly Pure, in which we check in with Iruma and Lead, and they have tricked themselves into thinking that they live in the jungle by eating all the foods that they are supposed to take back for points.
This is a 4-day fucking thing. It's just like, we got to act like we fucking live here. And so day 1, we eat fucking well so we can like do really good in the next 3 days. And so everyone who is sneaking up to steal the shit is like, they're just eating all their ingredients. So let's just fucking leave. And they're all like, oh, brilliant. He's put them all off the scent. It's like, no, I'm not sure it's brilliant, but maybe.
I don't know. It's like you're frolicking in the meadow. Maybe it doesn't look too tough or anything like that. But maybe it is a marathon sprint, so you gotta have set yourself up for it.
And then Lee's like, well, you know what would be even better than just us two frolicking around here on our own if there were some girls here as well. Remember that mixer we had? Flashback. Where he had invited all of Aiko's friends, but Aiko, as we learned at the post-credits, was too busy arranging photos of Iruma to come along to the mixer, and so she missed out. And he's like driving into the lads because he's got Jazz, Saburo, and Iruma with him, and he's like, it's teamwork, we've got to work as a team, it's us versus the girls. And then he's like, aha, I'm going to turn on them, and then all the girls are going to be full for me, not them. Because he offers them advice which he thinks is going to be counterproductive, but it is super effective.
Yeah, I like the advice with Sabnok is don't fucking go on about becoming the Demon King and shit like that. So just keep it on the DL, right? Just stay quiet. So Sabnok's like, oh, okay.
Play it cool, I get
and
you.
They all think he's all mysterious and sexy, and he's so tall, like, you know, so he's got that going. Iruma's like, don't. What did he say to Iruma?
I can't remember, but it's like he's so. But the thing which she's like, oh,
he ends up complimenting her, which is obviously, people like hearing compliments.
Yes.
So.
Oh, he's trying, because they like talking like he was the great hero of saving the.
Oh, don't stand out. Don't make you the big guy. Iruma's absolutely. I'll make them feel special. No, don't make them feel special.
They're like, oh, he's so small and cute. I can't remember what he tells Jazz.
Whatever Jazz does, Jazz can do
the
tricks
bad boy
at the mixer. So
he says, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, if he can do tricks, it's like, that's impressive at the mixer. That's going to get the attention, all the attention off of him.
Yes, and then he's like, oh, and they're like, what is your bloodline power? He's like, oh, you can share my senses with you. And then I can never remember the most abstract one of the girls, the one who's just an eye stalk.
Yeah.
You could steal my nose, see what I'm smelling. It's like, I don't know where your nose is. I don't know how to do that.
Why don't you find out? But back at camp, there's something out there waiting for us, and it ain't no man.
No.
It's the ladies.
Yes. Well, first of all, they think, oh, this is a monster, but then they realise it's Clara because it's wearing a badge which says Clara.
So you know.
And then it grabs Iruma and runs off with him. Leaving Lead with ex Elizabetto, and she comes onto him, and he's like, "Oh no, she's using her power against me. I must resist. I must resist.
I can't resist.
I can't resist." Yeah, and she takes his secret stash of like the plants they were supposed to be collecting. Ingredients. That's the word.
Are you sure? You kind of just a little something more for little old me, don't you? It's like, my shucks, yeah, I do. It's in my sock. Here you go.
But then she reminds him that she'd already told everybody that she won't use her powers on people she's attracted to, and because she said, "I didn't use my power on you." And it's like, oh, you love me, and then we sort of get her flashback of her life and her training. And yes, she's this massive romantic, and the
idea that she could make a man fall in love with her isn't any good. So if it's anyone I feel I could be romantically attracted to, I'm not going to use it on, which is all men.
Yes.
I'm not going to use it on.
Her life is an Otome game. She's just going to she's just going to do it 100% all routes.
Yes, there's some interesting men in her vision of her harem who I was not expecting to be there.
You want to have to spread. You don't know how you're going to feel, how in love you're going to be in a given day. You want to make sure.
That's why she's been learning every single possible seduction skill a woman can use, and so once she's mastered it all, no man will be able to resist her. As Lead proves here. So Lead thinks, no, this is terrible, but then the narrator says, no, she is romantically interested in you, Lead, but you can't hear me because I'm the narrator. And then meanwhile,
because Lead actually does some nice things for her and compliments her in a way specific to him.
Yes.
But
and then she kisses him on his horn and sends him into apoplexy. And then, Clara has dragged Iruma off, and then the zip opens on the costume, and he is pulled inside her costume, where she says, "Gotcha, Iruma-chi," and then the episode ends.
You didn't I?
And you're like, oh, and then I was like, okay, are we going to see like what is a sexually aggressive Clara looks like, and then we get the preview of the episode, and it's like, oh no, it's just Clara, and looks like there may be a song.
Listen, she's going to use all her charms, and singing is definitely one of her charms. So I think that would be it. I think the costume thing is you want the zip up suit so she can hide her pheromones and also, zip it down a little sexier. Whereas Clara's like, I'm gonna dress as a monster because I got no charm. But when you see the cute girl inside, you'd be like, oh, that's a cute girl. Also, that whole costume is a fucking pocket if you think about it.
Yes,
her magic is pockets. Yeah.
Yes.
So mysterious as well. Because if you cover more up, it just makes the imagination run wild.
Yes, it was a both a funny and frightening ending, and then when you see the preview, like, okay, it's going to be a less frightening version of when you get swallowed by goo in Hallie and Goo. It's like some sort of weird. It's like he appears to be trapped in a soft play area. It's filled with board games and toys.
And you see it happens in the preview. It seems to happen to Iruma and the her teacher.
They become
cheapified. Yeah.
So curious. Yeah, but yeah, the title is not lying. These are 4 devilishly pure demons. And I was like, oh, that's probably what the Misfit class is all about. Is like these are that they've got a purity to their heart, which is why they're misfits and why they've ended up in this class.
They purely embody a certain vice or other thing. It's like that. Heck, if you're going to be greedy, if you're going to be kind of lusty, or like that, then you may as well go all in on it and then make that your whole thing.
Yeah, because it's like even your little creepy owl guy. He's not like the creep who's in their magic item club. He's not building. Yeah. He's not illegally building statues of people.
Life-size statues of actual other students.
He would bear no false idol upon saying, "You wanted from Bob Poison upon your knees in front of the beauty."
Yeah, like he's as the creepy anime guy who's really into women go. He's very like all women are queens, which is like that's a positive, I guess. Yeah, for that trope.
Then we've got Spy Family, episode 19, a revenge plot against Desmond, and Mama becomes the wind. What's he called? Is it Gordon Gloomman or
Gordon Gloomman or Gloomy Man or Gloomy as they call him?
Yes. Yeah. He was responsible for hiring the spy because he thought the Desmond corporation were going to crush his dad's company and he wouldn't be able to go to the school anymore. So he figured if Damien's his first name, isn't it?
Damien,
yes.
If
you somehow, again, an Enya style plot, if I somehow embarrass him or threaten him, he would oh, I don't want 2 sons like me.
If I get his son kicked out of school, then his father will ruin his business, thereby saving my father's business.
Yes.
Is his logic as a child. Again, child brain not thinking so much. He also gives 3 months allowance to his butler to hire the best spy you can get with 3 months of my allowance, which as a rich kid is presumably a lot, but still not enough to hire. It's not enough to hire a decent spy, as we saw.
So he's still got another plan. He's going to frame Damien for smoking a cigarette and punching him. But Anya's like, oh, that will ruin my plan. I'm going to step in and save Damien. And I think my favourite moment is when the teacher is scared of Anya's eyes and runs away.
Her eyes, they see through all. She's a bad kid. I can just tell it. I'm just going to stay out of this whole situation.
Just like her dad. She's kind of adopting that same steely glare that he has. It's like, oh, yeah, she learned from the best.
There's some very good Anya faces in this and also background Anya faces as she's reacting to things. Because obviously she's much like the audience where she's parlayed to what's going on in this kid's head of there's someone thinking about revenge against Desmond. I must catch this spy. Yes. He's a spy master. He hired the spy.
She gets so much mileage out of somebody who is absolutely crestfallen or hideously embarrassed, and she just this big eyes just like they're there. I don't know what to do with this. Yes.
There. We've also got Becky's brains is full of romance because she's like, oh, you saving Desmond? Oh, what? And then she's asking about Gordon. He's like, oh, you're into him as well. You want any boy? Do you want Anya?
Because she was immediately thinking about her Lloydie and that kind of thing. Yeah.
And of course, then when Anya saves Damien, then Damien gets all embarrassed as well.
Because this sweet angel has come in. Like, because the teacher is literally saying, is like, I'm not going to listen to your fucking cronies. I know those guys will say anything to get you off the hook. But Anya, the bad kid, comes in and fucking saves him. He's like, too rich for my blood. I'm staying out of this situation.
Yes. And then Gordon gives them all his sob story, and they like treat him because they think it's going to be his last day at the school. Give him loads of presents.
But he keeps pushing it.
Yes.
Yes.
Like a childhood kind of thing.
Just keeps on going up and saying, sure, I know how it is. No, I just want to look forward to like the spring chorus. It's just like, it's okay, we'll join hands and sing. Da, da, da. Like he's dying as he leaves the school gates.
Well,
goodbye.
That's because
I'll never forget you.
He thinks his parents will have to sell him into slavery to the West.
And Anya's kind of trying to, like, it'll be okay because she knows her dad and Frankie are from.
No, it's Sylvia.
The handler.
Yeah.
And they're from the West and they're grand. So yeah, they won't sell you into slavery over there is the thing she's assuring him. And it's like, what does this stupid child know? But you have Becky coming in like humming the chorus, and you have Desmond coming in doing his dance.
Yeah.
Just all the kids trying to be as sweet as possible. Here's my favorite football. Here's my pencil case. That kind of thing. As he leaves forever, they'll never see him again.
And then he gets home and his dad says, "Well, it's like good job that the Desmond company bought us out. It saved the company." No,
I mean, like, obviously, I'm not going to be CEO, and it's not going to be my name on the building anymore. But our research is going ahead. I'm still head of the project. I'm really glad they bought us out. Have you done your homework yet, son?
Yeah, I used to go back in and everyone's going, this motherfucker is getting shoulder checked placed back to his ice cream, the motherfucker.
And then Becky's like, you got to give everything back to us. I don't know how it's perfect that Becky's the one who tells him that he's got to give everything back, but it is.
Becky is like the most loving, or at least love-obsessed child, and also the harshest one.
And then the second part is Yor thinks that Anya's forgotten her gym gear and races to the school, scares some children, and then discovers that there was no gym today. Also frightens Lloyd, because Lloyd had also snuck to the school instead of doing his pretend job. He's like, does she suspect something?
Does she suspect that my code for going to work was that I'm going to spy on my child so I could try and figure out how to get her some stellar stars and that kind of thing? But yeah, I mean, like, yours also, like, I can't just say, hey, Anya, you forgot your shit, because that will get her kicked out of school. I'm reasonably certain that one guy I've seen before would kick her out of school for failing to remember her gym gear.
Yes. But then she's also doing all sorts of other things around town on the way, like saving people's plant pots, using her martial arts skills.
And doing some sweet parkour down a building site just to get to school. Yeah, good stuff.
But yeah, as a general plot, though, it does feel a lot like certain episodes of Bob's Burgers. I don't know whenever they make Yor behave more like a mother, that it does remind me of Bob's Burgers. Linda plots so much. Because there's definitely ones where she's had to sneak to school to give Louise things, or in one case, break her out of school.
It is a very man plot, so appropriate that it's Yor doing it, except with the skills she's learned as an assassin.
Yes.
When she scales that sheer wall and there's like bits of brick coming down, I was just like, Jesus Christ, the upper body strength of her.
The fucking fingertips are like drills.
Exactly, yeah. And then Yor kind of meets up and is like, hey, I was just doing a house call, and part of my job as a doctor, which is what I am. What were you doing around here? I was like, I came in to give Anya the thing. He's like, no, that's really good. Since we're out, like, how about we go get lunch? And they accidentally go on a date. Those stupid married couples. What are you gonna do? Dear.
Then we've got possibly the best thing I've seen all year. Pop Team Epic Series 2, Episode 7, Rising Hell, the Hellshake Arrow. Partly
We're
because,
back, baby.
Yeah, it wasn't until the end of the first half that I realised that was the entire of the first half. When the credits came up, I was like, hang on a second. That was 10 minutes already.
Like it flew fucking by, and then it's like, oh yeah, this again. I did check. They did film it at least a second time because he makes some mistakes the second time around that he didn't make the first time around, which I was like, he forgets to flip over the coach throwing in the towel at one point in the second one.
It's another live Akbu performance, of which last time they did this was episode 7 of series 1. Thinking about Hellshake Yano, they redo the same sketch essentially, but the thinking about Hellshake Yano takes up the entire episode. As we
much more flip pads involved in this one.
Many more flip pads.
It's a 2-man flip pad job. Yeah.
Yes,
there's an ad break in the middle of it.
Yes, there's an
ad break. That's very carefully timed, just so you know we're not wasting your time. This is our government mandated 30-second ad.
I believe it's for a real music shop as as
I looked it up. Yeah, they have 6 locations in Kyoto. So yeah.
So essentially the tale of Hellshake Yano after he's quit the music business, dragged back to it by his manager, where he takes part in a contest. It looks like he's going to lose to
No Subject Prince.
Yes, no Subject Prince.
Who refuses to perform for his entire time, thereby earning himself a perfect score.
And so Hellshake's going to try and beat him by playing an 108-string guitar. But he breaks his plectrum, and so he has to rush on a Dragon Quest style quest.
Zelda.
In the last 30 seconds he has as well.
But to get the master plectrum, which he turns into, and then he breaks all 108 strings and wins the contest. And then Akbu return to the toilet from whence they came as the credits.
Only to emerge again from the toilet.
I only know it was the front toilet when they were walking back into it at the end. Like, I don't catch that. That was someone transpired with their flip pad wizardry.
It's because it opens with the click of the unlocked toilet cubicle, and it's just like, wait, what? You don't have time to think about that. He's walking forward. The credits are happening right now as he flips over the credits. I did appreciate the end credits where it's all just them doing everything.
Yes, and then in the second half it's the same again, but with Koichi Yamadera voicing everything
and sound effects and everything. And he then has to do like his he's like off-camera one, like after episode bit by himself because he was the only one doing his own bit. But saying, "This is bullshit. I'm going to do everything. You got nobody here to talk to. This fucking crap. Trying to know who I am."
Absolute madness. It's fantastic, and it just moves at such a pace. Like I said, it wasn't until the credits started that I realised they'd taken up the entire story.
I'm not going to complain about it, but. It's definitely one of the best things I've seen all year. Is it one of the best animations though? Can you call it animation? Yes. I think yes.
Yes, you can.
I think yes.
Yeah.
Even if it's just someone going like, Hellshake with a piece of paper, I think that's fine.
But
right?
So even some of the transitions and the optical illusions essentially they're doing with like flipping a slight piece of paper over another piece of paper so it changes the context. I think
there's such wonderful stuff as well where Hellshake is turning his head more and more, but his nose stays on the same side.
I was going to say that,
and
exactly
it shows
the
they can
thing.
draw so fucking well, but they choose not to. I love that. I appreciate that.
So like if you watch like enough of this crap, and it's just enhanced it because you can see like the little effects, the little stings are trying to actually replicate, with the eye catch and everything. And there was this fun, great one where it's a fade down from inside the restaurant down to the street, where it's like it's a coach going no as it fades out, but rather than having like tracing paper or something like that, as you kind of slowly like morph the drawing, so it's like the manager is morphing into the house.
A very odd shaped tween. Yeah.
Oh, it's like it's something that would be like this would be like it would be harder to do it wrong or to make it look weird that way, but they put the work in to make it look weird and wrong.
yeah, the extra effort.
Absolutely superb. Then finally we got Mob Psycho 103, episode 7, transmission 1, Winter Break, in which Tomei's fed up with the poor success rate of the telepathy club.
She realizes she'll be graduating soon. It's like, oh shit, we've done nothing.
Middle school crisis.
Two of them are going to be graduating. The other 3 though are like, well, can't you just carry on when you get to high school? And I was like, oh yeah, they're in middle school. Yeah, why are you so worried? But yes, they're going to actually take it seriously. So they get in touch with the Kageyamas, who get them in touch with the two brothers who've got telepathy with each other, but nobody else.
They know Mob has psychic powers. And he's like, I don't have telepathy. I'll ask my brother. Wait, your brother's psychic? It's like, yeah. Do you know anyone who's telepathic? It's like those two telepathic twins. Those guys.
Because the problem is the story would not have carried on this long if there was anybody who had telepathy who could have read Regan's mind at any point during the past 3 seasons.
Yeah, and even those guys can only read each other's mind, so you know, and they can't contact a telepath. However, they can make a noise that would really annoy a telepath if they work really hard. And generally, we can only do about 500 meters. But Mob's like, yeah, I can enhance that, so that should be good.
Well, let's try it out and see who comes knocking. And they do try that. And someone does come knocking and saying, "Oh, it's just you, Takanaka. You've only quit this club 8 years ago. Why are you going to come crawling back now for?"
Oh, it's the winter and they make us train in the winter, so I'm just coming in here to warm up. And it's like, oh my guys, are you guys still into the telepathy thing? Give it up, man. Freaking get a life. What are you doing? I quit this thing.
Why don't you fuck off then? We're in the middle of something, lads. Just keep going, man, and keep going. Okay, let's go again. That's getting a migraine now. Come on, lads, have a bit of thing. It's not real. It's not real. Would you stop with the fucking noise? It's like, you heard it. That noise that adults can't hear, but you heard it.
Yeah.
Then we get his background, which I guess ties in the general theme of Mob having to accept his psychic powers. Of which, he had to as well. He used to use them to take revenge on people. He grew out of that, and now he just puts earplugs in. So his telepathy seems that he can literally hear people's thoughts.
He can literally hear thoughts, and he can project his voice into people's heads when he worked on it hard enough. But I can only really read people's thoughts now when I look them in the eye, basically. If I take the earphones out.
Yeah, he seems to like say, "Oh yeah, because of the telepathy, He's learned how to read people's faces without the telepathy, so he could tell their intent.
He's good at reading people in general. But like, I like the idea, and they say it as much as like, so you started up this club clearly to find other telepaths, right? You didn't want to be like alone, and your frustration caused you to quit.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just something you were like, I refuse to do it. I refuse to speak into people's heads. I put in earphones so I don't hear their thoughts. It's like, but you started the fucking club, didn't you? That kind of thing.
Yeah. I do like the eye catch where they annoy the other psychics in the town.
Yeah. And Reagan says, "Hey man, what's up? Are you okay over there?"
So they're going to have a New Year's Eve party, and they're trying to get Tomei to come along, and they're going to try and contact aliens using telepathy.
Because that's the thing she really wanted to do all along. I like the thing of they rang her and it's like, hey, come on, we're going to try this on the mountain. She's like, that's stupid. You guys are stupid. I already disbanded the club. Do whatever. And then they couldn't get in contact with her for the rest of the weekend. It's like, oh, shit, I guess she didn't do it. But then she showed up anyway. It's like, yeah, my phone broke.
Meanwhile, it's Spirit of Touch consultation. Hey, Shiba-san, got any plans in the New Year's weekend? It's just like, my night school buddies are gonna go like for after the end of your party. It's like, that's okay. I got stuff to do too. It's like, there's Mob. Hello? What? It's been New Year's Eve looking for aliens. Well, I suppose. I don't know. I better keep an eye on you kids. Yeah,
and his older apprentice looking back at Reagan and going like, "Good for you, master." You know, it's just like, I'm glad you have
these
friends
damn kids.
too.
If I didn't look out for them, they'd fucking be in a fucking the shadow grave right now. Yeah, he was once to be one wife so lonely. My friends.
And Reagan waking up that morning is like, "Wow, I feel so refreshed. What a great night's sleep. I woke up naturally." It's like, my alarm clock ran out of battery. Son of a bitch.
They're trying to keep Tomei from phone going for fun. Say, you bomb me out here, telepathy. Phone, he's not fucking going to show up, is he? I'm really phone. I'm out for nothing. Phone saying, no, I'm here. Phone said, I swear to God, the new telepathy. Phone saying, you fucking washed up. Forget you. I'm out of here. Phone saying, no, please, just give us one more chance. Come on, we gotta go.
They like pick her up,
bundle
and
her
carry
up,
her.
kidnap her
Like,
essentially.
she can't escape now, and it's like, oh, sorry, master, sorry, we're late.
She's so pissed.
Reagan's like, don't worry about it. Obviously, visibly still sweating. It's like.
He's like, oh, it's okay, just thinking about higher things. Oh, geez.
And how nervous he is driving as well, because this is a rental and he usually doesn't drive. Don't fucking talk to me, Mom. I'm fucking concentrating on the road. There's a lot of really good characters not fucking speaking their mind, and Reagan getting antsy about this. Like, I can't believe you overslept, man. And Reagan's like, fucking, are they talking about me?
No. Oh, my boat up. Yep. Looks like it could be rocky ahead. I suppose after like the when make a little bit of mention of that whole dimple and the whole broccoli tree thing, it's like so like after the kind of big emotional and like I guess planetary stakes of that, that's something a bit more like it's just kind of these interpersonal things, and Mob being sort of like the voice of, well, he's always the voice of reason, but he's like the one who's least caught up in his own little kind of complexes here. Even Ritsu was like getting red for films, but like fun. So you got like a thing about not being kind of like on the same vibe as your brother, but saying, "Did you read my mind?" No, it's written all over your face, man. Jesus.
I like when Toby's like, "Oh, I think what memories have we got of our middle school years?" And the other guys are just like, "We've got great memories of just hanging around eating crisps, chatting, and
we played cards a bunch. Yeah. That was fun. I like playing cards with you guys. Yeah. Those are very fond memories for me.
Yeah, I like the fact that they got what they wanted out of the club, which is why they feel guilty now. That maybe they'd accidentally ruined it for her. Because they're like, maybe we should read all these books. It's fun stuff. Because I've been reading Dan to Dan weekly now. I'm like, don't call aliens. It's never going to work out well.
And the other thing I was thinking of, the constant shots of what have we achieved as the psychic club. Was like, what have we done? It's like, oh, maybe we should read some of the books that are on offer. And everything in their little office is fitness equipment, fitness magazines, because it's the body improvement club. That's not what club you're in anymore, guys. But yeah, they're they're stuck in the old ways of thinking, and
well, the shelf's full of UFO books though, still.
That's true, yeah. But it's next to all the barbells and stuff.
But yeah, they keep on showing like the bodybuilding things peeling off the telepathy club side though, because I guess a bunch of the bodybuilding club guys are going to be graduating as well.
Graduating too, yeah.
That's true, yeah. They were talking about that in the midterms or whatever.
It's got to merge your clubs. You got to improve your body and your mind. Yeah, telepathy. Yeah.
We'll see if that plays out. And that's it for this week. A sensible number of shows.
Hey. God.
I was questioning myself, did I watch everything? It's like, yeah, I did watch everything. Yes. We just weren't watching the crazy amount. Yeah.
Well, that's it. I did watch more things around the slate. That's my own personal interest. And
that's fine.
Like that.
Yeah.
I did see you mention that the last Euroscience Zero had 3 stories in it, so I might check that out just to see.
That is probably the right amount. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm currently fascinated by people who are like, but all the characters are horrible. I was like, yeah, that's why I liked it in the 90s. The Gundam is still good. There's like it's in a good kind of bit now where it's like we're getting all these details and like they're not adding up. So it's just all like throwing all so many different things into doubt. Obviously there's like something else going on under the surface. But it's like the Prospera, the Shar character is being super Shari because it's kind of like a formal gala student event thing, or formal gala event where they basically kickstart new companies, and she basically might have kickstart Gundam Incorporated. Because if we're going to have like evidence here of companies developing banned mobile suit weapons, we may as well be sensible about it. So I propose like a foundation to be established to research these and use them sensibly. So it's just like Gundam Incorporated.
All right.
And plays right into Prosperous and just like saying, "Oh, I made one of those and I got in trouble for it." But Mammy, you said it wasn't a Gundam. No, I lied. It's totally a Gundam. Sorry. I wonder what else applied to you about in your life. Because the prologue that we see that where you or someone who appears to be you as a child. That happened 21 years ago, and you're only 17. So either you got held back a lot, or you're not who you say you are. And we've already established that there are clones of people, or people who had been implanted with one of people's personalities and appearances in another episode. So everything is kind of all hurly-burly now. Interesting.
Do we know where Lupin Zero's showing up?
It is. Oh, what did I think it was actually? Because you presume all Lupins are going high dive bound, wouldn't you?
Yes, you would. Yes.
I think I read something different, or at least it's going somewhere else as well. Where the hell was that? We'll know in a couple of weeks. I think it had its premiere at a convention in New York or something there the other weekend.
December 16th is when it's supposed to show up.
Okay.
So we got that and Roboco, I think.
So the Lupin Zero is only like a short thing anyway as well. Yeah, on high dive, of course.
Okay.
They had a lock on that now.
Yeah, and December 4th is me and Roboco, which I don't know if that's got anywhere announced for it yet. But it seems like a fairly good chance it'll show up somewhere. Probably more than most shorts these days. Yes, I don't think they've announced any because they've announced that Gamera anime for next year, but I don't think they've announced who's
Gamera anime.
Yeah, for Netflix, Gamera Rebirth.
Oh, probably following Godzilla's one. Yeah,
I thought that did so well for them.
And I don't think there's any sign of Detective Conan's yet with content relevant to the main plot. I think it is currently TV originals up until the end of the month that are announced. So this coming week is Detectives Don't Sleep. That's the gimmick. Detectives are always sleeping because they keep on getting knocked out by a dart shot by a child's watch.
But what if we knew that can counteract this for a bunch of detectives juiced up on crank they can never sleep?
Righty-ho, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with more of the same.